Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jackson High School, home of the Jackson Timberwolves, and we are going to bring you the 3A girls and boys championship games for District 1. I'm Mark Aucutt with Bill Kusler. Stephen Whitman is on statistics tonight. Our director and producer is Todd Elvig, and thanks so much for being a part of this broadcast tonight as we come to you live on STSPN.com. And what a game this is to start things off. Two undefeated teams. The Arlington Eagles ranked third in the state in girls basketball against the Lynnwood Royals. And we're going to go with them ranked first because that's the poll I'm going by is AP. And just a great matchup as Arlington 22-0, Lynnwood 22-0. And it's just, the road just led right to this game, and we are excited to bring it to you. Our first game, the second game, will feature Mount Lake Terrace and Edmonds Woodway and the boys for the 3A Northwest District 1 Championship. Bill, great to work with you again. Our first time on STSPN.com.
It's going to be a pleasure, and I've been looking forward to this game all season long. We could have put this on the calendar before the season even started. We knew both these teams coming off strong. Lynnwood coming off a state championship last year. Arlington placed, and coming in just a great matchup of the three ball. Arlington likes to put up the three against the relentless defensive pressure and pressing of the Lynnwood Royals. Teams got here kind of different ways as the Lynnwood did not have much trouble getting in the semifinals, defeating Stanwood 63-24, whereas Arlington was down 14-2 to Glacier Peak and came roaring back to win that ball game 52-45, and that's how those two teams got here tonight.
Yeah, and the thing about Arlington in that game on Wednesday night, which we broadcast on our connected station, Fox Sports 1380, they were down like that, and it was tough in the early going. They went 0 for 8 in three-pointers, and that's their bread and butter, and that was in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, they were 5 for 12. Things started going more their way. They got more into their rhythm, and then they came away with a victory. But they had to work for it. Lynnwood just put away Stanwood the other night, and that was the second game we did over at Shorecrest, and they roll right into this game. But Arlington, a tough team. Lynnwood, a bigger team. Arlington has lots of cards they'll put out there, and then Jayla Russ as well. So we're going to see some difference in that. And, of course, you have one of the top players in the state of Washington that plays for Lynnwood. She's going to Oregon State University, and that is Michaela Pivick. She is just one you kick back and go, wow, look what she can do out there.
The Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Washington last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if she does a twofer in that. But the thing that's great about this match, this stage is not too big for either of these ball clubs. These ball clubs are both used to state tournament time. Both have had players that have played varsity ball as a freshman and have come up through the ranks. And I'm really looking forward to tonight's ball game. This is going to be a great matchup.
You know, one thing, too, is they get for the starting lineups, and we'll talk about this more, is I look forward to the coaching matchup between Joe Marsh and Everett Edwards, because these two guys, very cerebral, great coaches. They've been to the state championship games, and they know what it's like to get to that final game. Lynnwood won it last year. Arlington lost to Meade in 2013. So, Bill, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Arlington Eagles, they will be the visiting team on the scoreboard in the game. They'll be wearing their blue uniforms. And for their head coach, Joe Marsh, his assistant coaches, Sean Marsh, Kim Anderson, Lauren Perigo, and Lisa Boyle. Starting at one guard position, a 5'8 senior, Gracie Castaneda. Also starting at guard, she is a fire plug, 5 feet tall, but plays a whole lot bigger than that. And a senior, that is Serafina Valderas. Also starting at guard, a 5'4 senior, Sevi Bielzer. Emma Janasek will start at guard, a 5'6 senior, and also starting at forward is a 6' senior, Jayla Russ. So you have Castaneda, Valderas, Bielzer, Janasek, and Russ for the Arlington Eagles. Now let's go over to the other side in their white uniforms coming out right now, the Lynnwood Royals. Their head coach is Everett Edwards. His assistant coaches, Colleen Peters, Angela Woods, Dave Douglas, Becky Lewis, and Wayne Edwards. First of all, starting at one guard position, a 5'8 junior, Riley Walsh. Also starting at guard, a 5'10 senior, Jordan Edwards. And as Bill mentioned, last year's Gatorade Washington State Player of the Year could very well win it again this year. And she is a 5'10 senior, Michaela Pivick. What player, as she's already had 2 big games in the district tournament. Kelsey Rogers starts in the post. She is a 6'1 junior, and also starting for Lynnwood is a junior guard, 5'10, Caprice Boston. So it is Riley Walsh, Jordan Edwards, also Pivot, Rogers, and Boston. And Bill, this place just has a great feel about it tonight.
It does, absolutely. Championship atmosphere here for this district tournament. Fortunately for these two ball clubs, both of them have already punched their ticket into the regionals, and so you would hate to lose one of these teams at this point. And so win or lose, these teams go on to that regional round with an opportunity, if they win there, to make the final 8.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back with play-by-play action on your home for local and regional sports, STSPN.com. Stay tuned. More on the way.
Lynnwood Band, under the direction of Phil Onishi.
We'll come back. You'll let us know, right? Yeah. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we were just really treated to a great rendition of the national anthem by the Lynnwood Band. And Bill, you are a musician, you play trumpet, and they sounded really good and rich and full over there.
Both of these schools have a very strong music programs, and both Lynnwood and Arlington. And so now let's get ready for action and see. I think it's going to be really important for Arlington to be able to handle the pressure. Lynnwood tries to destroy teams early. They try to come out, get steals, not allow the other team to get down the floor, get some easy baskets on transition off of turnovers. So it's going to be extremely important for Arlington to take care of the basketball. For Lynnwood, they're going to have to be very cognizant of the three-point line. They're going to have to get out there on their guards and make sure they defend from the outside. Arlington will move the ball around the perimeter very quickly. So a great matchup, and let's play ball.
Let's do it. And the Arlington Eagles are in their blue uniforms with gold numbers and letters and white trim. Lynnwood in the white with the black numbers and letters and gold trim. The Royals and the Eagles, we are underway here at Jackson High School. Look, they go to Pivot real early. Now out over on the other side, it is going to be Kelsey Rogers dropping it in for 2 points, and Lynnwood strikes first here in the first quarter.
Arlington starts out in a man-to-man, but that little game, you cannot sag off on Pivot. She's a good passer as well.
Arlington will move it around. They're really always looking for that three ball if they can get it. That's their bread and butter, and they put a lot of them up the other day against the Glacier Peak Grizzlies and finally prevailed in that one. A near steal by Pivot, and finally stays with it, knocks it away. It ends up in Arlington's hands, and putting up a shot that time is Beelzer, and she's going to be heading to the foul line, Bill.
Yeah, Beelzer had a great game in their last ball game to get them here after the slow start. She hit 10 of her 15 points in the second half to bring Arlington to victory. And Pivot picks up the foul. Lynnwood does not want to get her into foul trouble early, as Lynnwood starts in a 2-3 zone, but they're overplaying the wings.
Beelzer makes the first foul shot, and so it's 2-1 chance to tie it here. The shot is good. She was our player of the game the other night and has done that a couple of times. Pivot has been a player of the game at least once every year of her 4 years at Lynnwood. Great player. And we have a jump ball as Pivot's coming out of backcourt. And right there, Bill, you see the tenacity and resiliency of Serafina Balderas as she forces the jump ball, and Arlington gets it back, tied at 2.
And this is going to be fun because Arlington's putting full court pressure on as well. So these two teams battling 90 feet.
Arlington moves it into front court now. Janasek takes it in. What if that goes? Wow, there's Jayla Russ with the follow, and she gets that to drop. And I don't know how that wasn't blocked. She just slid it by.
And then Lynnwood back down the other way. Misses the lay-in.
Pivic was having her hand in that, and it goes down. The ball goes down. A couple players chasing after it, and now Lynnwood is going to make a substitution. Coming in is Taylor Fahey, and she will replace Pivic briefly. Pivic with the one foul on her. That's it. We're just underway. 6:44 to go in the quarter here in the first quarter. Missed shot by Riley Walsh, and a good quick rebound by Janasek to go the other direction. Russ? Almost. Big rebound, and here comes Lynnwood.
When you have a post that can spot up for the three and work on inside like they do with Russ, that's a real advantage.
Miss inside. Good rebound by Jayla Russ. Russ getting the position. Here come the Eagles flying out of backcourt. Oh, gosh, this is fun to watch them set up and the defense these two teams play. Two really evenly matched teams, a bit different physically, but they both know how to play at a high level.
Well, said it was really important that Arlington not get overwhelmed early, and not only have they not been overwhelmed early, but they've taken a 4-2 lead here early.
The lead has switched hands one time. It's been tied once as we're early on in this one. 4-2, 6:02 left to go here in the first quarter of play. First game of our doubleheader. 3A Northwest District 1 Championship. The boys are next after this here on STSPN.
Well, you know, Lynnwood, it really handles the press well, and one of the reasons they do that is that they see it in practice every single day, and so they have not had much trouble breaking the press.
So Lynnwood will try to get things rolling, and we got to make sure. I think they're going to set the shot clock, or one of the clocks has got to be reset out there. Yeah, I guess they're ready to go. Okay. They go down low inside Kelsey Rogers. Russ had a hand in there, and it finally goes out of bounds. Last touched by Arlington, but still good hustle and almost a foul, but no foul call.
Gracie Castaneda getting down on the ground to make sure that they couldn't get it inside and get the shot up.
Lynnwood gets the second shot at it, misses on that. And then a jump ball, it looks like again, across the way. And that's going to be in possession of Lynnwood. Want to mention the officials, Riaz Kanji, one of our buddies that we see a lot, Brett McIntyre, and also Ted Postma. You get to know a lot of these guys through the years, especially when you do a lot of games during a season. Now Lynnwood gets it back.
Almost the steal.
Arlington 22-0, same with Lynnwood. Arlington averages for the season 64.5 points per game and averages giving up 37.7 for a difference of 26.5. And now the arrow with the jump ball will give it back to Arlington as they lead 4-2. With 5:24 left to go in the first quarter.
Arlington's small defenders are not afraid to get on the ground, and what's happening is Lynnwood is trying to get the ball in low to the post and the bounce pass in, and then Arlington's guard defenders are just getting low and grabbing that basketball.
Now, as Gatorade Player of the Year, do you get like a case of Gatorade or something? Is Michaela Pivic's back in the game? Yeah, you got to watch that for eligibility and all that stuff. There is a long jumper by Balderas, and she misses that. Rebound grab down. Here comes Pivic. She won't hesitate trying to make something happen. And it's picked. She had 3 times on Wednesday balls were taken away from her. How about that move by Gracie Castaneda as she glides through the lane and puts it up and in. A 4-point lead for the Eagles. 6-2.
That was set up by Emma Janosek getting that steal off of Pivic.
That's a great move right there as Jordan Edwards just took command and split the seam, found the seam, and lays it in a 2-point game.
She is so quick, and she may have to take a little more of the offensive aggression for Lynnwood as Pivic and the other players inside haven't had much luck. And
Pivic going to the basket. Looks like an offensive foul to me.
That's 2. Wow.
Yeah, that's huge. 2 fouls on her, and that's both team fouls. They just have 2. As they're going to have a couple of substitutions. Pivic is going to come out of the game. And, you just can't not enjoy it when Karen Brown, the wife of head coach Nick Brown, comes by and gives you a hug.
Yeah,
You know,
I didn't see you fighting that off.
No, even and Debbie's behind me, but it's all in friendship and camaraderie. So with the basketball, I get tapped on the back now.
Well, this is an interesting. Lynnwood is used to putting lots of points on the board, and they have been held to 4 points in the first half of this quarter. And Pivick on the bench with 2 fouls.
All right, in front court, there's Lynnwood. They're down by 2 points. We're at 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And a 6-4 game and a very energetic, good crowd here. Both bands are here. And most importantly, Bill Kusler is here. The ball is knocked out of bounds.
Again, a nice aggression that Sarah Short on that play, just popping the ball out of bounds, out of the hands of Edwards, and Lynnwood just not finding a rhythm offensively.
You got to like this defense that Arlington is putting on them. They are right up on them. And there's a shot over on the right side.
Taylor Fahey, and that was big. That was big. Lynnwood had not had much luck in the offensive column early, and she gets a big bucket to tie this thing up.
Arlington in front court, tied at 6. Going to Russ. Russ has not scored as of yet. Goes to the basket. She's missed a couple of 3 balls as well, and Arlington keeps it alive. Now there's 8 on the shot clock as that starts to wind down. Castaneda coming through the lane, can't get it to drop, and Lynnwood will take command.
So kind of rushing that shot, did not get anything in. Now Lynnwood coming off a basket earlier to tie it, and now a little bit of double team out at the half-court line.
Give and go, inside it goes. Great ball movement.
Wow.
Kelsey Rogers set that up with the pass, and then it was Riley Walsh putting it in. Lead switching hands for the second time, 8-6, as the Royals are on top.
So they get the lead. That's what they're used to. Boy, they move the ball quickly on that one.
Jayla taking it to the basket, gets that one to fall. Excuse me, she has 4 points. She got a layup earlier. So it's 8-8. We are tied for the third time. I think we're going to see a lot of ties and lead changes, Bill.
Yeah, this is living up to the hype.
A lot of fans in the student section up on their feet. Oh, good breakup of the play right there by Olivia Larson. How about that? And now they just can't get it out of backcourt as Larson comes up the left side. And Bill, sometimes we see that where they'll make a great play and they're just so excited to get that ball moving that they don't slow it down and make it work getting down the court instead of forcing it.
And out in front, Kelsey Rogers trying to set the pick and draw the charge, but the officials were considering it a little bit of a flop. They did not make the call.
That's good they don't, if they consider it a flop, make those calls. All right, now Lynnwood with the basketball. That's Jordan Edwards, and she is the daughter of Everett Edwards, who's the head coach of Lynnwood. Misses on the shot. Riley Walsh, they keep it alive. They fresh 30 on the clock since it's hit rim.
Well, this game, both teams used to scoring a lot more points, but neither team has gone against a defense quite as tough as they are tonight, and just 8-8 here. With a little less than 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Great defensive effort by both ball clubs. These coaches know each other well, and they've game planned very well.
Caprice Boston got fouled going to the basket. She will have 2 shots, and the foul is on Sarah Short. That is her second team foul. First shot by Boston is good. This is the first trip to the line for Lynnwood. Everything else has been from the field, and also Arlington's been there once. Debbie Beals are 2 for 2, and now Boston 2 for 2. So it's a 10-8 lead. Back to a 2-point lead for Lynnwood, matching their biggest lead of the game. There's a long-range shot. Good, strong rebound. New player into the game. It's backing in. Talia Mears. So Mears gets that one to tie it up.
That helps you so much when you can get on the offensive boards, get a rebound, and pop it in like that. Arlington just hasn't found the range from 3 yet.
Edwards misses the shot. Look who's getting that rebound again. Hustling. Olivia Larson tied up in the corner, and there's a bench timeout called as Joe Marsh wants to take a 30-second timeout. We'll take a break as well. How about this one, ladies and gentlemen? 3A District 1 championship game for girls. It's all tied at 10 between the top 1 and 3 teams in the state of Washington right here on STSPN.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe we have a thank you out to our good friends at Action Jackson Plumbing for that last ad right there. We appreciate their support, and they oftentimes sponsor the halftime show, and we'll check and see if they're doing that again today. Action Jackson will be sponsoring. Bill, what's not to like about that? Action Jackson Plumbing, they'll get the job done for you.
So Lynnwood going to a real strong overplay defense and a nice play by Jordan Edwards. Edwards is kind of feeling like she has to take up more of the aggression on offense with Pivic on the bench. And, boy, great pressure by both teams.
Yeah, it
kind
really
of mirror
is.
Images of one another.
It is one end to the other, offensively and defensively, and now we have a foul coming up against Arlington, and that foul is going to go on Talia Myers. That is her first foul, third team foul, and it will put Lynnwood player at the foul line. Is that Kelsey? First shot is good.
Yep, Rogers.
Yeah, Kelsey Rogers is at the foul
That
line.
long, dark hair over her number in the back.
You know, after a while, you just start looking for things like that, the long, dark hair. Okay, what signifies, what separates them? Next one is good, so it's a 2-point lead again for the Royals, and Lynnwood is 4 for 4 from the foul line. Keep that in mind as we go along, how well they do from the charity stripe. Arlington looking to they go inside. Look at that. That's Myers, but too hard off the glass. She was thinking in the right direction. Both of them were. But couldn't get it to drop. Put it up too quick. Trap going to be called against Caprice Boston, and that will give it back to Arlington. Bill, we got 32 seconds to go in the quarter, 30 on the shot clock.
I'm sure they'll try to maneuver for a last shot, but Lynnwood's going to overplay, and so they may not allow them to do that. They're going into the trap.
We'll take a look at statistics from the first quarter when we get into the second quarter. Missed shot way outside. You know, they had so much more time, and that early shot, now Lynnwood has a chance to get one off before the end of the quarter, and that's what they're working on right here. They get it done. Look at that pass.
Nice play. Caprice Boston just found a spot. She likes to kiss that ball off the glass.
Biggest lead of the game for Lynnwood. There's a shot right at the buzzer, and it comes off the rim. So at the end of one quarter, our score between these two great teams is Lynnwood 14 and Arlington 10 right here on Fox Sports 1380. Mark Aucutt, on STSPN.com. And it's Mark Aucutt with Bill Kusler. We'll take a quick break and be back with more right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt, Bill Kusler going to the second quarter. Lynnwood is leading 14-10 over Arlington. The leading scorer for Arlington is Jayla Russ with 4 points. And for Lynnwood, 2 players with 4, Kelsey Rogers and Caprice Boston. Bill, we'll get some more numbers from you here in just a second. Inside, it is Boston to Rogers. They get it done. It's now a 6-point lead for Lynnwood.
Lynnwood shot 5 of 12 from the field, did not attempt a three-pointer. They were 4 for 4 from the free throw line, had 11 rebounds.
Look at this by Jordan Edwards. Steal and 2, and goes coast to coast. It's 18-10, an 8-point lead, their biggest lead of the game.
And Lynnwood can do that in a hurry.
Missed shot, and Lynnwood, boy, they could double up the score here, and that's been happening in a hurry.
Arlington is just not feeling it from 3, but Lynnwood gets a long 2. Arlington just 4 of 13 in the first quarter, 0 for 5 from three-point range, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Lynnwood out-rebounds Arlington 11-6 in the first quarter, each team with 5 turnovers.
And a special thank you to Stephen Whitman doing statistics tonight. It's our third doubleheader working together this week. He's done a great job. He's a senior at Glacier Peak High School, and it's been a lot of fun working with him. 20-10 is the score, and we got a foul.
Yeah, Coach Edwards leaping off the Lynnwood bench. He did not like that call on his daughter. Pivick will come back in now with 2 fouls. Jordan Edwards will come to the bench. Also coming in, Taylor Fahey.
3 team fouls on each squad. Inbounding is Sevi Bielzer. Now, Arlington moves it around. There's a shot put up and a miss. Gracie Castaneda out there. Now, Lynnwood can really add some impact here. There's a long shot by Pivick. So far, Pivick has not scored in the game. She averages over 20 points per game. Jayla Russ misses her third three-pointer in this game.
Arlington is 0 for 8 from three-point range so far. And in order to be competitive and get back in this ballgame, they've got to start hitting from outside.
And that's how they started on Wednesday night against Glacier Peak, and they were down by 12 points on a couple of occasions in that game. 20-10. We're sitting right at Pivick. Gets it inside. Piece of cake for her as Rogers found her. And now Pivick has her first 2 points of the game. It's a 12-point lead for the Royals.
This is a 14-point run for Lynnwood after being down 10-8.
Well, Bill, you see it looks like a 2-3 zone out there right now as Lynnwood in command with a 12-point lead and really looking to try to pull away even more.
Yep, Arlington's going to have to move the ball. And, once they hit that first one, and looks like Lynnwood's going to, after that rebound by Pivick, is going to take a timeout, but nice run by the Royals.
Definitely. So Lynnwood's taking a 30-second timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. You are viewing on STSPN.com. Thanks for being with us. More on the way. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our score on your screen, a 12-point lead for the Lynnwood Royals here at Jackson High School. Welcome to the Den, the home of the Timberwolves, and this has hosted many a district tournament. Kind of gets to be your home away from home. Inside, Rogers misses, but gets fouled. I'm Mark Aucutt with Bill Kusler. Stephen Whitman is with us on statistics, and Todd Elvig is our producer and director.
So Lynnwood having difficulty posting the ball in low early in the ball game, but they've been quite successful since. And Kelsey Rogers has played a whale of a ball game, both offensively scoring, but also distributing the ball around, getting some assists as well.
That foul was on Jayla Russ, her fourth team foul. Rogers misses the first foul shot and misses the second. She's 2 for 4 from the line. Lynnwood is now 4 for 6 from the foul line. And Arlington has to hit something key here because Lynnwood has just been on this run, and wasn't it 10-8? So they're on a 14-0 run. Yeah, it's a 14-0 run. So Jayla Russ misses inside. She's having a rough time of it in there. These bigs and such for Lynnwood are tough. They will not ease up. That's a 3-point jumper by Caprice Boston. She has points in the game, and it's the first 3-ball, Bill, for Lynnwood. They're up by 15. How about this steal? Oh, nice behind-the-back dribble. You can't get any better than that. Riley Walsh finds Jordan Edwards, and it's now up to a 17-point lead as Arlington falling further and further back. Lynnwood just handing it to him at this point.
Yeah, this is Lynnwood basketball, getting up the floor quick, getting the ball towards the hoop, stealing ball, pressuring defense, and Arlington still cannot hit from 3, and if they can't start hitting, I thought that one might go.
They look good from this angle.
But, they're either 0 for 9 or 0 for 10 from 3, and they've got to start converting or Lynnwood is just going to pull away, and this is what Lynnwood does. They're 0 for 10 Arlington.
That's amazing.
From 3-point range. And Lynnwood, can just take out. They are so streaky, and they can just score points in bunches. It seems like just minutes ago they had 8 points, and they've just gone on this 19-point run, and now they're going to slow it down a little bit.
Peyton Brown, who is the daughter of the boys coach Nick Brown for Arlington, is about to check in, and she had a game last year that Mike Buchholz and I covered for Fox Sports 1380 where she hit 9 3-pointers. Yamani misses the shot. Now Edwards going up in the air, and I could see her get hacked on the wrists, and we got a foul coming up. That's going to go against Lynnwood. Still sitting at a 17-point lead as Riaz Kanji indicates that one is going to be against Arlington, against Sevi Bielzer.
Yeah, and when you're not shooting well, you tend to press, you tend to get a little tight, and it just kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if they can just hit that first one, it can make all the difference. But they got to do it in a hurry. Down by 17 points.
Jordan Edwards misses the first foul shot. She has 6 points. This is her second foul shot from the line in the game with 3:50 to go in the second quarter. Neither one of those look good. Arlington ends up with the rebound. Castaneda playing with a couple of points. Now Janusek, who averages just under 7 points per game. As Arlington looking to try to find something. Again, they're not a very big team, and Lynnwood can make that differential. They're definitely in command down on the boards underneath, and there's a big rebound by Boston. Quickly, they move the ball the other direction. Rogers goes to Edwards, and no make. Kind of getting a little loose out there, Bill.
They are indeed.
Good hand to knock that one down by Riley Walsh.
I think Castaneda could have just taken it to the rack and try to do that, but being very unselfish, try to pop the ball out again for another 3.
Michaela Pivick going to Oregon State University. I kind of scolded her the other night. I said, how could you leave this wonderful state of Washington and go to another state to go to college? How come the Huskies or Cougars didn't get you? She goes, she just really liked it. It felt like the right fit to her down there.
Yeah, you just got to go with your gut. That's a really important decision. You don't go anywhere because if anybody else wants, or you just another steal. But what feels good to you is where you're going to be successful.
And Oregon State has a great women's basketball program there in the Pac-12. We got a travel call as Riaz Kanji makes that clear. I see him in a lot of our games, and then also does volleyball.
Well, the interesting thing about Lynnwood is you have the Gatorade Player of the Year last year, only has 2 points in this ball game, and yet they have so many other weapons that they have gone out to this big lead. And you always think about them scoring a lot of points, but everything is predicated off their pressure defense, and it has been incredibly successful tonight so far.
Arlington with the ball in front court, down by 17 points. Seems like an eternity since they scored, and it practically is. They have not scored in this quarter. They've been shut out so far. It was 14-10 at the end of the first quarter, and Lynnwood has outscored them 13-0 in the second quarter. 5 on the shot clock. Nothing there. Just got some rim on that one. Here's Pivick. She runs the court so well. Look at that no-look pass, and over to the side there. Rogers missed on that, but it was great Pivick to Edwards. And it would have been amazing if Rogers hit it for perfect ball movement. We got a 2-shot foul coming up for Pivick.
The thing about Pivick is she can play all 5 positions. She's 5'10", but she can post up. She has great interior moves. She goes to the board. She can rebound, but you can see she can bring up the ball against pressure with both hands, and is just a remarkable athlete.
Yeah, and she has a nice athletic build, too, of not spindly, not too thick, but just right, and it's going to work well in the Pac-12 as we have a timeout on the floor. By the way, I want to say that foul was called against Gracie Castaneda, her second, and Bill, that's the 17th foul against Arlington. That's not good.
Yeah, they'll put them in the bonus situation. Also for Pivick, you talk about the things she's done athletically, and she might say that her favorite thing was running cross country with her sister. They both had excellent cross-country careers as well, and kind of ran really close to one another, seemed like the entire season. And so not only a great basketball player, but a cross-country runner, and enjoyed running with her sister.
I think she finished 8th in the state last year. She has, you can see that she has some great strides out there, too. She likes to run. and is an excellent floor leader. Goes to the line with 2 shots. So far, the Lynnwood Royals are 4 for 6, make that 4 for 8 from the foul line. Just 3 fouls against Lynnwood. First shot is good. Pivick just with 3 points. She got a foul and then another one in that first quarter. Had to spend a little time on the bench. You don't want to get her in trouble, although they are pretty rock solid all the way around. It can be tough to replace her. The next one is good, 29-10, a 19-point lead. Lynnwood, the defending state 3A girls high school basketball champions. No, that's not looking good. Fortunately, she got it back. And again, launching those threes, it's just way off the mark. And they still have not hit a 3 ball. They're like 0 for 12 now.
Yeah, the problem, their guards are good shooters, but they're small. And, when you penetrate like that, if you have a guard that's 5'7" or 5'8", they can get a shot up over those posts. But when your guards are, 5'4" and 5 foot, it's really difficult to do that.
1:30 to go in the second quarter, and Pivick's going to have it taken away from her. And finally, we got a foul as chasing after it was Caprice Boston, but Boston's going to be called for the foul, chasing it, and that's going to be foul number 1 on her, team foul number 4.
It's really amazing that, Lynnwood can play such a high-pressure defense, and yet they've only gotten 4 fouls in this half.
Jordan Edwards will check into the game. She's going to play Division I basketball at Colorado State. Missed shot driving into the lane that time was Sarah Short, and they're just getting those one cracks at it, Bill. Not easy when you've got as much size in there as Lynnwood has. Pivick works it to Jordan Edwards. A little too short there. A nice follow-up by Kelsey Rogers, who has 8 points in the game, 4 in each quarter. 1 minute exactly left in the second quarter here at Jackson, and Lynnwood picks it again. They've got a 21-point lead. They've scored 23 unanswered points. It was 10-8 Arlington, and looking kind of good for them at that point, but Lynnwood has just taken control ever since. Handling the basketball, Riley Walsh. Edwards wide open, 3 ball, yep. That you could just see coming together. If it went in, it wraps the ribbon around it. She has now 9 points, 7 in the quarter, and it's a 34-10 game, a 24-point lead.
They've had some big victories, but they're playing the number 3 ranked team in the state and beating them by 24 points in the first half. Yeah. Lynnwood is just an amazing team.
I just love watching the way they move the ball. They go inside out. There's Pivick went in and said, okay, I see Riley Walsh out there. Riley did miss the shot, but I like the thinking. 4 seconds, 3, 2 in the quarter. Pivick jumping in there to get a held ball, and that is going to stay with Arlington with 1 second left on the clock and a 34-10 game.
They're going to get Pivick out of there. They don't want her to accidentally pick up a foul in this last second.
1 second left here in the second quarter. Inbound pass goes to Balderas. I think that would have counted had it fallen, but it does not. It falls, but it doesn't fall through the net. And that is it. We're at halftime. Our score is the Lynnwood Royals 34 and the Arlington Eagles 10. Lynnwood outscores them 24-0 in that quarter. It's hard to believe you're saying that about an Arlington team, but Lynnwood is just a really, really good team. And we're going to go ahead and take a break. Our halftime is brought to you by Action Jackson Plumbing in Snohomish. And we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Hello once again, everyone. We are live here on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt, Bill Kusler, first game of our district championship doubleheader in 3A Northwest District 1. And in this one, the Lynnwood Royals with a huge lead, 34-10 over the Arlington Eagles. At the end of the first quarter, it was Lynnwood 14, Arlington 10, and then Lynnwood outscored Arlington 20-0 in the second quarter, and they lead it by 24 points, which is their biggest lead of the game. Looking at scoring for Arlington, Jayla Russ, 4 points, and then 2 each for Talia Myers, also Sevi Bielzer and Gracie Castaneda. For the Lynnwood Royals, their leading scorer in this game is Jordan Edwards. She has 9 points, 8 points for Kelsey Rogers, 7 for Caprice Boston. Taylor Fahey has 2 points, Michaela Pivick 4 points, and Riley Walsh with 4 points. From the foul line, the Arlington Eagles, actually Bill has got that, so we're going to go right to him and get the other statistics.
Well, what a nightmare shooting for the Arlington Eagles tonight. They ended up 4 for 28 from the field, including 0 for 15 in the second quarter. They are 0 for 13 from three-point range. They did hit both of their free throws. They have 10 turnovers, 13 rebounds. Lynnwood shooting 13 of 27, just under 50%, 2 of 4 from three-point range. They 6 from 10 from the free throw line. They have 8 turnovers, but Lynnwood has out-rebounded Arlington 24-13, but the only way Arlington is going to come back is they just have to put the ball in the hoop, and Lynnwood's pressure defense has made that very difficult. And so if you're Coach Marsh at halftime, you tell your team, forget about the first half. This is what we're going to do. We might do a little bit of X's and O's, try to isolate some people more. They are getting some looks. They're just not able to put the ball down. For Lynnwood, they've got to be very, very happy with how they played in the first half. Both inside and outside. They've been going inside. Kelsey Rogers has been big on the floor getting rebounds, and then a little 1-2 game inside with her and Pivick, and also Caprice Boston working well inside, but then popping the ball out. Edwards has been slashing to the hole, and so Arlington will get the ball, and what they really, really need is just to put the ball in the hole here on their first possession, gain a little bit of confidence to start this second half.
Thank you, Bill Kusler. I'm Mark Aucutt along with Stephen Whitman, and also our producer and director is Todd Elvig here on STSPN.com. And Arlington now going from our right to left, and on your screen as well, as they have the basketball and need to start putting something together, that's for sure. Down by 24 points. Block shot not going to happen there as Kelsey Rogers blocks it, gets it, delivers it. Jordan Edwards with the 9 points in the first half, and she had 7 of those in the second quarter. Rogers misses on the shot, but there's Pivick with the follow-up, now 6 points. And she averages around 20 points, Bill, and I have a hunch we're going to see her, if they leave her out there for any length of time, get closer to her average. Another missed 3 ball. Castaneda gets the rebound. Oh man,
just cannot buy a hoop. And Lynnwood back on the run.
Pivick trying to go to Rogers, and it's picked off. Didn't put enough lift on it there as Valderas ends up with the basketball, and there's Castaneda now taken away, so back and forth they go.
In that first possession, Arlington did a nice job. They got the ball in at about 8 foot away, and then they tried to force it in, sweep that shot, and got it blocked. Catch the ball, maybe pop about an 8-foot jumper. Try to get it over the outstretched arms of those bigger players inside.
Riaz Kanji, Brett McIntyre, and Ted Postma are the officials for this game. Game number 1 of our doubleheaders. It's knocked away. Here comes Arlington out of backcourt. Castaneda just flings it up there. She did that a few times on Wednesday, and Arlington coming away with the victory, 52-45 over Glacier Peak, but they had to battle hard for it.
And that's what happens when you're going inside and getting your shots blocked. All of a sudden, you're really rushing it inside. You're not doing your normal motion up. You're trying to get it up quickly, try to prevent it getting blocked, and that's just kind of disaster.
Yeah, everything becomes hurried when you're in a situation like this. They have not scored since the first quarter. Edwards, boom, got it just before the shot clock went off, and she leads all scorers with 11 points. A 28-point lead for Lynnwood, and they have almost quadrupled what Arlington has on the board. Castaneda casts off and misses, and Boston will get the rebound.
0 for 17 from three-point range.
Wow. That is painful.
And that's what happens with three-point teams. You can put up points in a hurry, but if your shot's not dropping, it not only you're not scoring, but it gives the other team an opportunity to run and get out on the break.
And again, when you're rushing shots, if that happens or flick them out too quick, you're going to have a little less than what you normally would have, and that can cause those shots to come out. And we got a foul coming up against Bielser. That's her second. First team foul. Edwards at the line with 2.
I'm thinking if there's some coaches from different powerful 3A girls teams from around the state that happen to have the night off and are coming to take a look at Lynnwood, they might be quaking in their boots a little bit.
Yeah, now Lynnwood last year won the 3A state title. A team certainly loaded, and they lost Danny Hayes amongst the players. She's actually Shoreline now, but they are rock solid this year, and they got players coming up that should keep them strong for a couple of years to come at least, and that's the next one is good by Edwards. She has 4 in the quarter and 13 in the game, putting together a solid one out there. She averages 10 points per game. Leading scorer is Pivic, averaging just around 20 per game, 40-10.
This is absolutely not what I expected. I really did expect a game that was going to come down to the wire.
Well, it was close early on, and now we have a foul. And just to look at it one more time, it was 10-8 at one point in that first quarter. And since that time, Lynnwood has outscored Arlington 32-0.
And this is an opportunity to stop the bleeding a little bit with Sarah Short at the line.
Foul was on Kelsey Rogers. That's her first team foul, and Short misses the foul shot. Well, if they can hit one of them, at least they break that long drought.
Yeah, you just keep thinking that if that one shot would go down, of course, I've been saying that for a quarter and a half, and it hasn't happened.
She misses the foul shot. They're now 2 for 4 from the foul line, and we have a foul in backcourt against Arlington. That's going to be on Short, her second, and the second team foul.
To their credit, Arlington is really battling. They're really battling. They're not giving up on this game.
All right, with the basketball is Lynnwood. Pivic in front court. She's got the fluorescent green shoes. We were talking about how we're old school to where we like to have the players wearing matching shoes, and okay, I have to admit that. Most of them have the same ones on for Lynnwood, but Michaela has her own special lime green specials going on right there. And the rebound taken away from Boston. Jordan Edwards almost getting it. Good drive, but she just can't close it. Kelsey Rogers gets the rebound. 4:22 to go here in the third quarter. And Lynnwood will now you're in a position to take some time and run the clock down a little bit too. Work for the shot. Pivic. The other thing, Bill, is I am a firm believer that play from one game can carry forward to another one, so you want to just be as disciplined as you can too.
Exactly. Nice.
Play your game. Well, that was just perfect.
That's how you draw it up, and Rogers does a good job of shielding the defender with her body and made it really easy to spin around and kiss that one off the glass.
Earlier today in the first game played here at Jackson, game started at 2:30 p.m. It was Stanwood in a great game, edging Glacier Peak, 66-65. That was in boys action. Also, another player coming in here, and we will have a couple of changes. And as I say, too, we had in a game completed just before we got started, Bill. That was Edmonds Woodway.
That game was very close right up into the end, and finally Edmonds Woodway came out on top of Shorewood 43-35. It was a 37-35 game with under a minute left, and then they hit a bunch of free throws down the stretch.
Pivic has that one come off. Edwards down low, or rather that was Yamani. They kind of resemble each other from a distance there. That's the junior Abi Yamani and also Jordan Edwards, about the same height. Same hairstyle, too.
Yeah, it's been a 14-minute drought for Arlington.
This is amazing. 42-10.
Oh, nice.
That one rims out. And Arlington, maybe this time will get something. Here comes Short out of backcourt. Down low, Jayla Russ, reverse, nope. Michaela Pivic gets the rebound, coming up on 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Our second game will be a great one. That features Mount Lake Terrace against Edmonds Woodway. And Mount Lake Terrace is the only team to beat Edmonds Woodway in boys basketball in conference play. So, Bill, we know we're going to be entertained.
That's going to be a great battle because it's the best offensive team in the Wesco 3A boys against the best defensive team.
Somehow Lynnwood maintains possession down there. Pivic says, oh, okay. As the shot clock winds down, and finally they hit iron, and it didn't. Pivic just keeps going for it. Can't get it. She wants this so bad.
She just got 5 rebounds on
That's
that one
unbelievable.
possession.
She just keeps getting after it. Had position and just didn't, after all it took there, it took a while for her to finally draw a foul, and so she's going to go to the foul line.
All the free throws tonight sponsored by Edmonds Community College.
Okay, all the free throws are sponsored by Edmonds Community College, and that is Pivic at the foul line. The foul is on Sarah Short, her third. Pivic now 3 for 3 from the foul line. She has 7 points in the game, 4 in the second quarter and 3 here in the third quarter.
But that just tells you, how aggressive she is going on the boards, and you could get frustrated when you miss a couple of cripples like that. And she just kept going up and up and up. 5 boards, offensive boards on that one possession.
Next one is good. And so she has 8 points, 4 of them from the foul line. It's a 34 to make that 44-10 lead, a 34-point lead. Arlington just having a really tough stretch. And you feel for him too, because we know how we've seen him. I've seen him several times and know how good this team can be, but they just can't hit those outside shots. Maybe that one. No. Well, at least they're getting those long rebounds.
Well, Arlington's been on the other end of this. They had a game earlier this year where they beat Marysville Pilchuck 65-9. Oh, and they
finally,
hit it.
And I think she got fouled, didn't she? That would be Russ, and it would be a 3-pointer with a chance for a 3-point play. 4-point play.
4-point play, and maybe that will do it. You hit that first one, and maybe things will start to go their well. Probably a little bit too little, too late, but good for her to be able to pop that one in.
Abi Yamani called for the foul, her first, and that is the second team foul. And again, at the foul line, all the free throws sponsored by Edmonds Community College. Shot on the way, and that is Russ putting it in. So she now has 8 points. She's the leading scorer for Arlington. 44-14. So they finally break that stretch, which went, about 15 minutes? And all the way back to the first quarter. Now hopefully Arlington can get it going a little bit. Although on the other end, Jordan Edwards with the basket.
They are so worried about Pivic on the baseline that they double team her. Edwards was open, and Pivic got her the ball right at the perfect time for the lay-in.
Back to a 32-point lead now. Shot is not going to go by Jayla Russ, and Pivic gets the rebound quickly ahead. How about that ball movement? Jordan Edwards goes to Caprice Boston. Boston could not get the shot to drop, but she is fouled, and will have 2 at the line.
They are so quick. You have those teams. Edmonds Woodsway on the boys' side is just the same. They can get the ball down the floor so quickly, and especially after a made basket, we've seen them do that, and then all of a sudden they're right on the other end with the lay-in matching that score.
First foul shot by Boston is no good. The foul that time was against Peyton Brown, and that'll be her first foul. Next one also rims out. Brown is a good outside shooter, and that's how they build this team. We'll see how she does if they get the rock in her hand. She's open over on the left side. Not enough on that one. We can see from this angle. Coming up on 1 minute to go in the third. Pivic ahead to Edwards. Edwards puts it in. And she's having a great game offensively. 8 in the quarter. And, Bill, she has 17 in the game, the leading scorer for both teams.
And Pivic has about 3 assists on those baskets, too. They work very well together.
Missed shot. Pivic ends up with it. Pivic's getting those rebounds and bumping her total up back to a 34-point lead. Way outside. And 40 seconds on the quarter clock. They can take some time off here as Pivic tries to work her way in. 10-8 is when Arlington last led this game, and since that time, they've been outscored 30-4. Taken away. Peyton Brown coming up the left side, and I know they'll try to look for her. I mentioned earlier she had a game last year where she scored and had 9 3-pointers. 6 seconds on the quarter clock. Shot clock is dead. Short to Brown. Brown gets an opponent in the air. There's Russ, and the clock goes off. That is the end of the third quarter. At least Arlington gets some points this time around, and they trail at the end of three quarters by a score of 48-14, a 34-point lead, the biggest lead of the game for the Lynnwood Royals. We'll take a timeout, and you are watching STSPN.com.
Welcome to Bickford Ford, Western Washington's premier Ford dealership. We strive to offer you the best in customer care, selection, and price. Our sales, service, and parts departments are highly skilled, experienced, and committed to your satisfaction. Give us the opportunity to take care of you and your family's auto needs, and we're confident you'll come back again and again. That's the reason we've been in business for 4 generations and over 78 years. The Bickford family has served the community since 1934. We support organizations that make a vital difference in the region, including Northwest Harvest, Seattle Children's Hospital.
Welcome back. We are live here on STSPN.com, going to the fourth quarter, and the leading scorer for Arlington would be Jayla Russ. She got 4 in the third quarter, has 8 in the game, and across the way for Lynnwood, their leading scorer is Jordan Edwards. She had 8 in the third quarter and has 17 in the game. 48-14, Lynnwood's up by 34 points here on STSPN.com. Mark Aucutt and Bill Kusler. And with the basketball, Jordan Edwards coming into front court. And Bill's got some numbers to look at from 3 quarters of play, or through that, in that quarter, actually.
Yeah, Lynnwood in that quarter cooled off a little bit, 5 for 14 from the field, 0 for 1 from three-point range. They did hit 4 of their 6 free throws. Arlington's struggles continued. 1 of 13 from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. So second and third quarter combined, Arlington shot 1 of 28 from the field.
Looking at, well, I tell you, they just have had a great game so far, and they play strong on both ends. And Bill, was it, we wrote down there, a 40-4 run. I mean, that is just amazing to be able to do that against a team as good as Arlington.
And Lynnwood also just dominating the boards, especially on the offensive end. Lynnwood has doubled them up. 40 rebounds for Lynnwood to just 20 for Arlington.
Back to action. Action coming up here in the fourth quarter. Mark Aucutt and Bill Kusler. And Lynnwood will inbound. With that big lead, and Bill, from a coaching standpoint, if you can get a chance to take a look at what's in the minds of both these guys, and obviously Lynnwood doesn't want to run it up to just be obnoxious against Arlington. We know Everett Edwards is a good sport, and Pivick gets her 9th and 10th points right there.
Yeah, I went on a little diatribe on a broadcast not too long ago on Fox Sports 1380 about running up the score and, you know, going to your bench a little bit earlier and different things. But, you know, these are two 22-0 teams. It's a little bit different when you're playing a team that is, you know, so far undermanned, but this has just been a situation where one team is not shooting. So, but I would suspect or hope that Lynnwood would, before too long, would go deeper onto their bench.
Pivick gets the pass to Riley Walsh, and now they go inside to Jordan Edwards, and Edwards puts it in. 19 points in the game, a 38-point lead for Lynnwood, their biggest of this event. Not much of a contest anymore, and it hasn't been for a while. Lynnwood led 34-10 at the end of 2 quarters.
And this is just going to be a game where Coach Marsh is going to have to say, we're absolutely going to just forget about this thing. This is just one game and move on. They can't let this linger over into the regional round.
That foul is going to be on Kelsey Rogers, her second. And team foul-wise, that's number 3. At the foul line, shooting a couple shots is Emma Janasek. First shot, no. Gosh, this is frustrating for them.
Free throw sponsored by Edmonds Community College.
Next one on the way is going to rattle around and finally drop. So it is 52-15, and finally one of these teams gets an odd number score. It's been even scored for quite some time. We haven't seen much of any 3 balls, just one on each side, actually, looking down the scoring ledger. Lynnwood with the basketball. Here we are in the fourth quarter. And they'll just work it around 8 on the shot clock. Jordan Edwards. Well, nice hand in there by Arlington. And the shot clock goes off, but it did hit the rim. Pivot gets the rebound, goes inside to Jordan Edwards. Edwards puts it in. I tell you, when it rains, it pours. And that's what happened there.
She is so aware. She had one eye on the rebound and one eye on where Edwards was. And I don't know how many assists that Pivot has in this ball game, but she has a bundle. And, a game where she's kind of moderately scoring, but she's doing everything else that her team needs.
One of the things that Mike Liddell and I were talking about the other night in that semifinal broadcast is that Pivot just plays very controlled and composed, a very mature player. And again, she's very self-aware of where everybody is on the court.
I'm really excited to watch her play in college.
Notice more people filing in here as we're getting closer to the boys' game. That's a three-point shot by Caprice Boston. And, it's almost mesmerizing watching Lynnwood move the ball the way they do, and then also rotating players in and out, keeping legs fresh. Valderas misses a three-pointer. Rogers gets the rebound, almost had it taken away from her.
Now it looks like Lynnwood's going to clear their bench.
We have the running clock going. Want to point that out, too. So the clock is running because the lead is 42 points. And this is the same type of thing that happened on Wednesday when Lynnwood had a big win against Stanwood. And there's Boston with the basket. Timeout called by Lynnwood. They're going to sub in 5 players, and a lot of those starters are going to come out as their fans up on their feet. I see their public address announcer, Tom Davis, here, a colleague, as he's up there. He's the man with the mullet. He's back there applauding his team, so good to see as they got great support out here.
They do, and you'll never see a more impressive victory than you have tonight with 2 undefeated teams. One team, Lynnwood, going on a 42-5 run, ending up 59-15 here with a little over half of a quarter remaining, and they've got just incredible amount of momentum here going into the regional round. Again, Arlington's just going to have to forget about it, go back to basics, and I stand corrected. That 42-5 run has turned into a 51-5 run.
Yeah. Rough situation there as Arlington has only scored 5 points since the first quarter. They had a long drought going and finally got something there, and 4:37 left to go. We will have the running clock, so it'll keep going when it goes after baskets and such, and a timeout will stop it. Now here's a chance, and both these teams are going to be going on and playing in the regionals. It's positioning for first and second seeds, and obviously winning the district championship. So they're going to both live to play another day, and obviously Lynnwood is, but still, it's not. If you're Arlington, undefeated at 22-0, ranked 3rd in the state, it's no fun being down by 44 points.
The consolation is you're having a bad shooting night, although that finally goes in.
Nice. That's
a two-pointer. But you would much rather have it happen tonight than happen in the regional round, because that's one and done.
That's right. You got to make it happen. Once you get to that point, you get to the state tournament at the Tacoma Dome, the 3rd through the 5th. Now, you usually, because you are a great kindergarten teacher out there in Lake Stevens, and to have that going on, so you don't usually make it down for the state tournament.
I don't want to leave my students for that, but I keep track of what's going on.
What's fun is that, and I know when you started, about 93, 94 when you started as a kindergarten teacher?
Yep.
Shot is going to be a miss, and that's going to be Fahey, who couldn't connect on it, and a 42-point lead. Shot by Russ. Oh, it looked good from here. We've seen a number of those, and it just not just that one was too long, actually. But Bill, I can now. You've had players or kindergartners that I know for a fact have come through, and I've actually announced their games at the college level. Mary Ochiltree was one of those who went on to play at Lake Stevens High School.
When you've been around a long time, it's amazing to see those kids grow up. My first class are now 27 years old.
Isn't that something? With and Bill, he just looks like a youngster, especially all that bicycle riding you do. With the basketball in front court, that is Lynnwood just moving it around. And we're going to have a foul.
So this is nice for Lynnwood. It is really a luxury when you can go deep into the bench and get them significant amounts of playing time, and that's how good teams remain good over a long period of time. You get the younger players, with lots of action, and then you just are consistent year to year.
Foul is on Kelsey Melick, and that's her first foul. She just came into the game. She's a sophomore. All free throws are sponsored by Edmonds Community College. Edmonds Community College on board sponsoring our free throws. That is a great sponsorship, especially when you get to games like this where those free throws are important.
My daughter has taken some classes down there and really enjoyed it.
Good. Avi Yamani makes that shot. And now it is 60-17. I'd like to see Arlington get at least 20 points. Down by 43. Their biggest deficit has been 44. Our next game, the boys 3A Northwest District 1 Championship. Edmonds Woodway against Mount Lake Terrace. Ooh, that's a swirly. Comes out of there.
Probably start talking about our player of the game.
I was going to say, too, Valerie Bell called for the foul. That's her fourth team foul. A couple of shots for Abby Anderson, who's out there. She's a junior. What do you think there, Bill?
Well, I think, Michaela Pivick had a great game where she didn't score as much as she ordinarily does. Great on the boards, great assisting. Kelsey Rogers was cleaning up around the hole, but I definitely have to go with Jordan Edwards. Just in the right place in the right time. High shooting percentage, slashing, got a lot of high percentage shots. And defensively, she was just a demon on the top of their zone. I
agree with you. She has 21 points offensively, but it's all those other things that she has done in this game that's made a difference. And Lynnwood up by 41, 1:45 to go. That clock running, jump ball, and the clock will continue to run. Once they hit a 40-point lead, then they went with the running clock, and that's something in football and in basketball. Actually, we're going to look at having a player coming up here, but I can go down there on the court and talk with our player of the game, and that would be Jordan Edwards. So I will do that here as soon as we get to that point. But we can take... Well, yeah, as they cut the nets down, they're going to be doing that. So we'll go ahead and get her. I'll go ahead and get her, and maybe I can bring her up here and we can both talk to her. That'd be kind of neat. So we'll see if we can do that. There is Lynnwood in front court now, up by 41 points. Action on STSPN.com. Thanks for being with us. These games are archived. And a foul. That foul was on Lynnwood's Rachel Walsh. That's her first.
And only 5 team fouls on either ball club. So as crazy as this game has been, it's been very cleanly played.
41-point lead as Lynnwood is going to go to the bank with this one and improved to 23-0, trying to defend their state championship from last year. That would be something to win them back-to-back if they can go that far. Arlington will suffer their first loss of the year, and that's Peyton Brown missing the shot from outside a three-pointer. And we're at that point where a foul indication coming against Bell, her second. And 4 seconds now. Clock runs. Peyton Brown, 3-ball. Yeah! Got that. So they get over the 20 mark. Good job by Peyton connecting on that. And that is the final score on your screen, 60-22. The Lynnwood Royals win the 3A Northwest District 1 championship. They can cut down the nets. They improved to 23-0, ranked number 1 in the state. And Arlington drops their first game of the year, 22-1. But still, what a couple of great teams for these schools coming out of Wesco. We're going to have our liaison, Debbie, get number 4 for Lynnwood. That is Jordan Edwards, as she's going to bring her up here. They're going to cut the net down, but we'll get her before they put her up for that. And I'd also like to talk to their head coach when he gets a chance, if we can. We're going to put her right in front of us here. So Debbie Larson, our customer service player of the game liaison and coach. And so we're going to bring Jordan up here, the player of the game going to Colorado State. They're going to have her going for a pitcher. That's all good, folks. We got to make sure they have their special moments. And Jordan, with her teammates, they won the state championship. We're going to let them wait because they got to have some pictures and special moments here as they get set to cut the net down. They're going over to congratulate and thank the band. The band's congratulating them, and they are thanking the band. The band did a great job. That is an excellent band. Both these schools, as Bill mentioned at the onset of our broadcast, have excellent bands, and it's just fun to hear them. So we see a lot of old friends here tonight. Don Anderson, good friend from days with the Everett Giants and the Everett Aqua Sox. Well, you don't think I'm going to mention you, buddy? Donnie Estes here tonight, a good friend. Dennis Dwan, I know from TV days, and there's a lot of people. When you get to this level, a lot of people come out, Bill.
They do indeed, and you can see across the way the Lynnwood cheering section, Coach Edwards holding the trophy. Now they bring the ladder out and the ceremonial cutting down of the net.
Congratulations to the Lynnwood Royals, and again, a great performance by them, but also the Arlington Eagles. You know, they gave it a great shot, but they just had a lot of trouble with the shooting. We'll get the percentages coming your way, and we're going to have Jordan Edwards, the senior, who's going to be coming our way. She's our player of the game, and good to see her. Real nice young lady going to come by. We're going to have her go right here. There you go, absolutely. Yeah. So we put her on the headset. I don't know that we need to have her on the headsets.
It's okay.
Do we? It's okay? All right, so go ahead and make sure. We got to make sure their microphone is on. It is on now. There you go. There it is. All right, and Todd Elvig will get a shot of you. You want to hold that T-shirt out as you are a player of the game. I think you've won a couple, three. Turn it the other direction there. There you go. Those are those new T-shirts. Look at that beautiful design, and that is the Adrenaline player of the game. Look at that right there, and beautifully crafted with the STSPN.com logo on it and our sponsors. As there's your microphone.
Thank you.
And congratulations on an excellent performance out there tonight. Final score 60-22, and you got it done in a number of ways. We have you for 21 points, but you did a lot of other things out there as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great game. We got off to a kind of a slow start with the tie game at 10-10, but we were confident in our game, and we just kept going, and we got the lead that we wanted.
It's really fun to watch you and Michaela work together, because it seems like every time she had a rebound, she had one eye on you, and you know how many assists did she have to you underneath?
Yeah,
and
I
you know
lost count.
you guys have been playing together for so long, and talk a little bit about that relationship.
Yeah, we have great chemistry. We've been playing for a really long time, even before middle school, with the Wolfpack team, and she's an amazing player to play with. I'm going to miss her a lot next year, but she has a great team she's going to, and she always looks for me when I'm running down the court, and I do the same, and just props to her because she's an amazing rebounder, passer, and shooter, and she can do everything.
And how special is it to share a state championship last year and this year with your dad as a coach?
It's awesome. It's something that I'm never going to forget. He gets to tell his grandkids, I get to tell my kids, and it's so great to have family involved with this experience.
Yeah, and the fact 2 years ago we got to play with your sister as well.
Yeah.
It's a whole family affair.
Top, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is too, both you and Michaela are going to be Division I players next year. You're going to Colorado State. She is going to Oregon State. That's pretty cool, and I think too, I know you'll be in touch with each other to just compare notes about that, because both of you are moving away. You're moving out of state. You're a little further than her, but still going through very similar experiences.
Yeah, for me, I know you want me to just talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, how about that, you know, keeping in touch and going through that together.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to stay in touch as possible. I know we're going to be different states away, but obviously cell phones, we could text each other and just make sure that both of our teams are doing good and check up on our stats and stuff. That'd be good.
Tell us what it was about Colorado State that made you want to go there.
You guys probably want more of an answer, but I just had that feeling that everyone gets when they know that it's that place. Amazing coaches, and I got to hang out with a team that was just super welcoming, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, about trusting your gut in situations like that.
We're going to let you get to the net. I had one question, though, for you, and this was in the game against Stanwood the other day, because you came down at one point, and your head was heading to the floor, and somehow you just got your balance and sat up for the most part, watching your dad, not just as a coach, but as your dad on the bench. There's a different look that takes place at that moment, and he was on it right away, but then you were okay and were able to step out of it and be all right.
Yeah, I did hit my head pretty hard.
You did end up, because we were kind of screened out. So
yeah, the one part where there's no padding on the wall, I ended up hitting. It hurt when I hit the wall, but afterwards I was okay. No concussion, luckily, but it's glad to have my dad just always there for me.
Yeah, and he's a police detective, too.
Oh, yes.
I wouldn't mess with that guy. No way. Well, anyway, you need to get down to the net.
Right.
Congratulations.
And cut it down there. thanks so much. It's always great talking with you, and we wish you the best luck. We know we'll see you again as you go deeper into regional and then the state tournament in a couple weeks at the Tacoma Dome.
Thank you, guys.
All right, have fun cutting the net down. I'll tell you, Bill, that's just what a genuine, sweet young lady she is. Great player. I'm sure she gets good grades, too. And, well, that's a lot for Dad to be proud of. And you get to getting to be around your child as much like that has got to be a special feeling.
I think she's going to be working for ESPN someday.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and they're cutting the net down right now. I think we'll just go ahead. And, Todd, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. So the final score, let's get those numbers in there, and I'll hit the final leading scores, and then we'll take a break. We got a ways to go, 41 minutes on the clock as before we do the next game, or roughly around that time, which will be the 3A District Championship. So we're going to take a break as soon as we get these numbers into you.
Well, first for Lynnwood, they shot 23 of 48 from the field, hit 3 of 7 from three-point range, 11 from 17 at the free throw line, turned the ball over 11 times. Just an absolutely tough shooting night for Arlington. They ended up 7 for 47 from the field, including just 2 of 22 line. They turned the ball over 15 times. But one of the big stats, Lynnwood out-rebounded Arlington 45 to 22. And that led to a lot of second chance points for the Royals.
We see Buddy Patrick from, he works on this network and also Fox Sports 1380. That must mean that Tall Tom is nearing the building. So anyway, let's take a look at the totals here. Jordan Edwards with 21 points to lead all scores, and leading Lynnwood, of course, 10 for Michaela Pivick, 10 for Kelsey Rogers, also 12 points for Caprice Boston. She had a strong game. Jayla Russ with 8 points for Arlington. She led them in scoring, and then several players with 2. And then you also had 3 points for Peyton Brown there. A nice big shot at the end of the game. So again, our final score in this one, Lynnwood 60 and Arlington 22. Lynnwood wins the 3A Northwest District 1 championship. Arlington is second, and Edmonds Woodway is third from their win earlier today. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to reset it. We're going to do the boys 3A Northwest District Championship. That is coming up, and we'll be on just a little before 8 o'clock, featuring the Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks and the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. Mountain Lake Terrace has handed Edmonds Woodway their only loss of the year in conference play. Boys basketball, it's going to be a great one. You'll want to be here at STSPN.com. I'm Mark Aucutt for Bill Kusler, Stephen Whitman on statistics, and our producer-director, Todd Elvig, saying take care, and we'll talk to you in about 35 minutes right here on your Sports Source.